Mm.
Hello, everybody.
Hi,
Welcome.
Carolee.
Hi, Kathy. It's nice to see you. I haven't seen you in
Great to
so
see
long.
you. It's been a
Welcome.
while.
It has been a while.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Elaine. Hi, Ado. Nice to see you. Bettina and Moms, we're not seeing you, but we just wanted to say hello. Thank you so much for joining us for our spring quarter professor meet and greet. I'm delighted to be announcing and introducing you to four incredible scholars and their four incredible classes. I'm just going to begin by kind of muting everyone. Um, here we go. Sorry, just going to mute everyone so we don't have any interruptions. I'm just going to introduce our four professors, and then I'll have ask each of them in turn to kind of describe their courses, and then we will open it to questions and anything you might have going. Our first professor is a longtime friend and mentor of mine. Had the pleasure of studying with him at Pacifica. Daniel Joseph Polikoff. He's teaching the class Rainer Maria Rilke, Poet of the Soul. Daniel has been writing about, translating, and teaching Rilke for 35 years. He's the author of four rather diverse books on Rilke. He has practiced at bringing Rilke's poems and prose to life. I can attest to that. I took his class at Pacifica, and it's brilliant. You can read more about Daniel's biography on our website. Our next professor is a very old friend of mine that I've known for like going on, I think, 20 years, Tom. He and I have a sort of a background in underground dance music and DJ culture. I'm so excited that he has agreed to teach the first class in our new archetypal disco studies program. His history, he's like he's been doing this for more than 30 years. He's a UK born DJ, producer, and sonic experimentalist whose career spans more than 3 decades across London, San Francisco, New York City, Berlin, where he lives now. Emerging from the late 1980s Tonka Collective, Thomas became a formative figure in several of the most influential underground lineages in modern dance music. True, that is a very impressive biography you can check out on our website. And our next professor is Casey Groves. I'm so excited because Casey is launching our new experiential courses department where we're putting our sort of philosophical ideas into practice. And so he's teaching a class called Embodied Liberation Through Greek Myth, an initiatory immersive course. And another very impressive biography. Casey holds an MFA in theater, ritual, and social justice. It was a program that he designed himself. It's an MA from the University of Creation Spirituality. He has a certificate in Michael Chekhov's psychophysical acting technique. And through his company, Inner Compass Productions, he creates mythic and ritual based works that address psychospiritual and social transformation. You can read more about Casey in our website. And of course, last but not least, my friend and mentor and just all around best friend, Dr. Laurence Hillman. Laurence very kindly came into my life, and we've been collaborating for almost from the minute we met. He is teaching his annual archetypal astrology curriculum. This spring, we're kicking it off again, and it begins with the practical archetypal astrology part one, a deep dive for beginners. Um, Born and raised in Zurich, Switzerland, Laurence Hillman became immersed in archetypes at the age of 16. As a professional archetypal coach, he specializes in helping his clients understand their deeper purpose and their life's calling. He's been practicing astrology for going on 50, almost 50 years now. And of course, you can read all about him on our website. So I think I'll start with you, Laurence. If you want to just tell us a little bit about your course, and what we're going to be doing in the beginners class for archetypal astrology. Oh, can you unmute, Laurence? Sorry.
And thank you for your generous introduction. So, a couple of years ago, someone asked me if I would teach an intro course, and then several people asked me, and finally I got the
That was
message.
me.
Well, there were also clients, and it was like, why
Mm.
don't you teach? And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not sure I have the patience for that. But then I thought, you know what? I really would like to teach a course with the things that I think are important because there's so much stuff out there that's really not important for practical astrology. And so I sort of am teaching the course that I wish someone had taught me, although I had a fabulous teacher 50 years ago. This is a summary of what you really need to know to run a chart. And I tell people that after 9 weeks, if you do the homework, it's a lot of homework, it is work, but you can progress very quickly and you will be able to what I call decipher a chart, which means you can look at it and you know what you're looking at. It doesn't mean you'll know how to read a chart. That takes, some years, but also the second course, we practice that and practice that and practice that. So there's a lot of hands-on experience using charts from classmates and people that classmates bring in that are important to them. And it's a four-module series. You don't have to take all four, but the second one, we talk about transits, sort of updating the chart to the current time. And the third one we talk about, I'm sorry, the second one is about reading charts. The third one is transits. And the fourth one is relationships, how to look at relationships through archetypal astrological eyes. But the first one is really the one where you get to meet a community. The groups have really been wonderful to each other, supporting each other beyond class in small work groups and just helping people start out and dive into what often is very scary for people. Astrology has this sort of complexity around it that can be a turnoff for people, the math and these kinds of things. That's all over now. There were no computers when I started in the 70s, but now we have computers for everything. You can look it up online, get a free chart. It's more about being, the math shouldn't deter you. You should understand what the math is about, but only peripherally, and I will explain it in a way that is not difficult. And so it's a fun course. It's a experiential, get into it, play with it, and have some real experiences with this in your daily lives and start to look at friends and people through this lens. So I encourage anybody to join this as a way to join a community of like-minded people.
Thank you so much, Lawrence. Let me just send the Zoom link. People are still RSVPing for this event. Thank you so much for that, Lawrence. Yeah, it's a wonderful beginner's class. If you've never really understood astrology before and you kind of look at the screen or the astrological chart and you're just like wondering what on earth what are all these glyphs and symbols? It's a great way to get a really, really good foundation upon which you can build because astrology is one of those things you have to study for many years. Okay, great. Casey, why don't you go next? Can you unmute, Casey? Casey, can you unmute?
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to start with a little disclaimer. I changed my shirt because with my acting background, I noticed that the lines on it were like glimmering and weird. And they always tell us in film, don't ever wear like a shirt with
Stripes.
patterns. Yeah, I mean, this is
Yeah, it looks good.
more muted. Thank you. So yeah, let me tell you all a little bit about the class. So I did a little video about the class that Gallery sent out, and it describes what the class is made up every week. So it's an experiential class. There's a guided meditation, a psychophysical movement exercise, and a ritual experience each week. And so what the class is, it's an intersection of the Eleusinian mysteries from ancient Greece and Neoplatonic theurgic ritual. So the 9 weeks of the course do their best to parallel these stages and experiences of theurgic practice with the 9 days of the Eleusinian mysteries. So because we don't have a lot of facts about the mysteries, because there was a vow of silence related to them, what I attempted to do is to fill those days, those experiences with the soul of Neoplatonic theurgy and Jung and James Hillman and contemporary meditation and movement practices. So yeah, it's an attempt at sort of a Western spirituality that's already always been there,
Mhm.
but in a more somatic, embodied way than
Mhm.
we would do like in a scholarly setting.
That's
So
great.
yeah, yeah, and so the readings, I'm gonna put together readings that we do each week, that I'll send to Gallery for this coming week, as soon, like probably tomorrow. But the readings between weeks would be helpful since we don't do much theory during the class. It's all, guided experiences. So it'd be nice to
Right.
kind of get some sort of sense of where things are going with it. And
That's
so, yeah,
great.
and yeah, and
Thank
so
you.
right, want to prepare. Also, want to ask if you already signed up for the class, that you look at the space that you're going to be in and make sure that you have room for moving, because we're going to be doing some like light Tai Chi style or yoga style movement that's not too, intensive, but you want to have some room to move around
Yeah.
and to create a sense of sacred space, and wearing clothes that are semi-comfortable, but just being able to move on Zoom through moving through space, through sitting down for
Yes.
meditation, and just having a sense of sacred space, even if it's off camera. So
Yes.
yeah.
Thank you, Casey. That's brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, this is going to be an experiment for both of us because this is our first official experiential course. Most of our courses have basically been like theory-based graduate seminars so far. And
Mm-hmm.
so this will be our first time working together as a group in an experiential setting. So we'll all kind
Yeah,
of,
and I've done a lot of it online,
yeah,
myself, and taking classes in this kind of way.
right.
So yeah, so we
I
have a
think a
lot
lot of
to.
people are more familiar with doing that ever since the pandemic and,
Mm-hmm.
yoga classes and a lot of things moved online. So I think
Mm-hmm.
we'll be okay. Thank you so much, Casey. I appreciate that.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Daniel, how about we ask you to go next, please?
Yes, well, I'm very excited to teach Rilke, poet of the soul, and I would lay emphasis on the soul. Rilke is somebody who speaks to many persons' deepest concerns, and many individuals are familiar with diverse Rilke poems, but have very little sense of the trajectory of his whole life and his work. And that's what we'll really be focusing on. Because if one looks at how Rilke develops from a young poet in Prague, a child in Prague, to a adolescent and young man, and then through the various stages of his life, this also tracks his work very closely. And we'll be looking at Rilke's work significantly through the lens of James Hillman's archetypal psychology, although we won't read much Hillman. That will be kind of ingrained in my approach. And we'll follow Rilke from his early years in Prague to his adventures in Russia with Lou Andreas Salome and his tutelage with the great sculptor Auguste Rodin, and his urban experiences in Paris when he wrote his novel, The Notebooks of Malta Lourdes Brigge, on through the war years of World War One, and finally climaxing in his great masterworks, the Duino Elegies and the Sonnets to Orpheus. And there's a profound soul making going on through these different phases of Rilke's evolution. And we'll track those with his writings, coordinated with his biography. And many of the poems we'll look at, not all of them, but many in my own translation. I've been translating Rilke for many, many years. My wife is German and inspired me in that direction. She's also a great in-house editor.
Mhm.
Um, and so by the end of the course, you'll have a good sense of the um, evolution of Rilke's very unique spirituality, one that speaks, I think, in a very special way to the challenges that confront us all as modern individuals. He's a consummate lyric poet, and just working with his poems and writings is is a joy and very profound.
Mhm.
And I look forward to going through that journey with anybody who wishes to join me.
Thank you so much, Daniel. Yeah, I can't wait. Rilke's poems are like instant doorways to like infinity or eternity or some, you know, intimation of the larger kind of capacity of our
Yes.
being,
Yes.
that is often feels like it's buried beneath all this mundane kind of stuff. And so,
I
yeah,
think
so
what's peculiar to this modern vision is that, yes, as Guélaret says, Rilke touches eternity, but he is also very sensitive and attuned to the limitations of our finite mortal existence. So it's really
mhm,
the tension between the eternal and the transient, the
right.
infinite and the finite that gets played out in
Yeah.
his soul work.
Brilliant. Yeah. And just so you all know, Daniel also uses um, uh, James Hillman's idea of the poetic basis of mind and the idea of soul making when he describes Rilke's life story in the evolution of his poetry. So it's really a fascinating look, and it's a very in-depth and fascinating look at the poet for those who are interested in Rilke. So last but not least, I'm very excited to ask Tom to tell us about yet another groundbreaking course at Cosmos Institute. Tom and I have known each other for years, and he has DJed several times at my old nightclub in Honolulu. It was called 39 Hotel. And he's one of the masters of the underground DJ scene, of which most people never hear a thing because it really is underground. So I'm very excited because Tom comes from a whole sort of lineage of Cambridge scholars, and I always knew that this kind of scholarly tendency was in his blood. So that's why he's the first person I went to when I wanted to develop this curriculum because I knew it would come naturally to him. Thomas, why don't you tell us a little bit about your brilliant class?
Okay, yeah, techniques of ecstasy, how we shaped club culture from the Paleolithic to the present day, no less. Um, it is a course that came to me through two particular books. So stepping back a bit, as Guélaret says, like I actually sort of grew up in this academic family for Oxford and Cambridge, like every one of my relations, and I sort of went the other way and left school. I didn't even graduate high school, I have to admit, and I sort of ran away and joined the circus, this sort of nightclub thing, and so that was 40 years ago this year. I'm amazed to consider. Surprised that I'm still playing records. Surprised that the nightlife world sort of looks the way that it does. So very different than it did when I began. And I've always, during those 40 years, had a very direct relationship with what I do. That I've never applied like an academic lens to it knowingly. Like I've never read any of the literature. There's a lot of really good books about the history of nightclubbing and social political aspects that have shaped that and so on. But I wasn't so aware of that. I avoided all of it, and I went ahead. I felt I needed to have a very direct relationship with what I did for it to really have a kind of quality and a power to it. And maybe that played out. But anyway, the reason I'm saying all that is that at this point, Guélaret has asked me to do this course, and I thought, well, okay, maybe there's something that I can kind of put together at this part of my road. So I had no idea what I was going to do, and I started to look at a few different books, and quickly something that I really like came together, and it's based out of two books. One was written in 2000 and published in 2008 by a woman called Barbara Erin Reich, called Dancing in the Streets. She's written a lot of really interesting books, a lot of them kind of based around sort of concepts of feminism through time. And her book is based on the premise that we have an evolutionary compulsion to gather together, to mimic one another, to move our bodies in a kind of group energy. And there are sort of ideas around that present themselves quite quickly, like, we form bonds, but there are other underlying arguments that she's talking about, which I find really fascinating. And she takes that premise and walks all the way up to almost the modern time. It's quite strange that she published it in 2008, but did not mention nightclubbing or dance music culture at all. It kind of, she touches on some ideas of rock and roll. Anyway, the second book is called Party Lines, written by a guy called Ed Gillett, and that came out 2 years ago. And that's all about how the dynamics between underground club culture in the UK combined with or pushed up against ideas of control in politics and the state, and that the two shaped the way that we get together and club and dance now. One book, Barbara's, leads up into Ed Gillett's book, but there's this sort of gap in between. And I realized that I could apply my experience firsthand of the last 40 years and
Filling that gap.
and fill that gap and kind of coax together the whole story.
Yeah.
So that's the sort of underlying drive of the course. There are 9 separate classes, each with very specific kind of threads that lead through kind of periods and different regions to kind of get us to where we are now. Similarly to Casey, we're going to have a little movement. The whole subject is dance. After all, we'll be listening to lots of different kinds of music and kind of understanding the threads that lead us to where we are today.
That's great, Thomas. Thank you so much. Yeah, I've been keeping an eye on his syllabus as it's been coming in, and it's really brilliant. It's going to be a very unique look at a phenomenon that's very much living in our culture globally, but very rarely looked at in a serious way by any academics. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. And I'll actually show you guys a really great picture of Thomas, where he's doing a play
I'm
our
intrigued.
on our wonderful president. Let me show you this hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Make party dance again.
Yeah. So there's a very strong there's a very strong political aspect to the whole thing. It's like, I feel that, like, considering the way that these kind of evolutionary, like, programmed practices, how if we look at those today and how that sits in society, we can learn a lot about where we are. And ultimately, through the 9 weeks, I want people to come out the other side with a strong sense of really understanding what is possible through getting together and dancing, and kind of giving us the tools to help us navigate some really difficult times.
Yes.
Techniques of ecstasy, you use these ways of using this particular technique to kind of, make your lives and the people's lives around you potentially a better place. That's the idea.
Yes. Here. I'm right there with you, Thomas, on that. And I think that really the way that these 4 courses are shaping up this quarter, all of them are kind of feeding into each other with this emphasis on exploring the deeper potential of your human soul through different techniques and practices. And I think ultimately, That's what Cosmos Institute is all about. We're trying to make it as easy as possible to access this knowledge and these techniques, and make it available to as many people as possible. So that's a lot of discussion from us, and I would love to open it up now to any questions or comments from our prospective students. Don't be shy, just jump in. Debbie, I know you've recently joined us. It's so nice to meet you in person.
Yeah, I recently did Mary Wood's Archetypal Artist, and
Yes.
that was wonderful. And I did do Sharon Blackie's program just before that, actually.
Oh, that's great. Okay, that's how
So
I found
that's
you.
kind of my route in.
Yes.
I'm going to be I've signed up for the Synchronicity program this time round,
Mhm.
but I'm actually interested in the Archetypal Astrology as well.
Oh,
Hence
good.
being here to hear a little bit more about that. So,
Excellent.
and I know
Excellent.
nothing. I'm
Yeah,
a
it's perfect.
complete beginner. So yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of perfect for complete beginners. Um, Debbie, did you receive my email that Dr. LaGrace had to postpone his class, the
Oh no,
synchronicity
no, I haven't.
class?
No.
Yeah, if you look through your emails, you'll see that he's experiencing some illness that is
Oh
just
no.
lingering, and he's just feeling like he just can't handle it. So I sent an email to the students who had signed up for that class, and I sent you discount codes for 100% like free for any of the 4 classes that you want to jump in. So
Oh, okay. No, I haven't seen that.
you
So we
just
can literally just switch over for
yeah, you
now.
just switch over
Yeah.
to the
Okay.
astrology class. So it'll be, who knows? Maybe it was meant to be. Maybe it's a synchronistic
Strange.
reason for you that, maybe
Yeah, hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, astrology is one of those great skills that once you start learning it, you just go down a rabbit hole. I've been doing it for about 5 years now, and I just can't stop. So,
And
um,
it's progressive. It sounds
yes,
like these
yes,
courses
you
are
could,
progressive.
if you wanted to, you could continue to take the other classes. Although the other 3 classes, as Lawrence is always reminding us, are a tiny bit more advanced. But beginners have come through the whole program with us and,
Yeah.
done their best. And I've seen beginners go from not knowing a single like planetary glyph to offering analysis of planetary like archetypal complexes by the
Yeah.
3rd class. So you definitely learn by osmosis, even though you feel like you couldn't really say what it is you're learning. You definitely pick things up by.
I guess you get a sense of it from that first class as well, whether you'd be able to do
Yes.
that. But I'm not looking to actually read for other people at all. I write fiction, so I'm looking to
Oh,
understand. Yeah.
cool. Yeah,
But it's
yeah.
from a very different angle. Yeah.
Oh, how cool. Yeah, that's brilliant. Are you living in the UK, Debbie?
Hmm.
Where in the UK?
In the Midlands.
In the Midlands. I live in
Yeah.
Stratford.
Oh, not so far. I'm between Kettering and Northampton.
Oh, cool. Okay. I'm here studying Shakespeare. So
Yeah.
if you ever come to Stratford, let me know. We can have
Yeah.
some tea.
Likewise, if you come this way.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
will
great.
do.
Um, Thank you, Debbie. Anybody else have a comment or a question?
There's a comment in the
Oh, there's a
chat,
comment in the
Hillary.
chat from Jamie. I'm sorry I'm not in a place where I can turn my video on. I have a question for the new experiential course with Casey Groves. Hi, Casey. How interactive will the course be for those who joined during this live session? Will we be sharing with other participants or more watching and integrating on our own?
Well, there's different sections of the day. So, like the very first thing will be a guided meditation. And well, I guess it depends on the order of what's the process of that week, because it just changes from week to week. But there will be usually when there's movement stuff, I ask that people keep their cameras on so that and that you keep your camera in a way that you can. And now if you feel uncomfortable about moving in front of the camera, that's another thing, and
Mhm,
that's fine too.
mhm.
But it's also about witnessing each other and then taking in each other's energy as we're doing movement or ritual experiences as well. So yeah, it would definitely be something that would be nice if everyone had their cameras on for the most part. Again, there might be certain times where I'm asking people to keep their cameras off because I'm asking you to and your sound off to, if there's things that you're going to be saying, in the quiet on your own. There's also going to be room after each experience for like some processing, about 5 minutes, and kind of like a talking stick moment. We can kind of go around the Zoom circle as it were, and yeah, so there'll be processing time together, and there'll also be
Yeah. If I remembered, sorry to interrupt, Casey. I remember when we were doing the interviews for the course, you mentioned that time for sharing, and processing together as a group was going to be limited because each of the practices were about 20-25 minutes, and we only have 90 minutes. Elaine, yes, absolutely. I'll email you after this. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, well, yeah,
So I
right,
think,
and then yeah, and there's just going to be built into the thing some spaces for sharing, and then
okay.
and then there will be also times when there's not. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Jamie, what Casey and I had thought about doing was to offer a 10th session. Right, Casey, remember when we talked about having
Yeah,
just
we
like a 10th
we
session where,
did, and I didn't share a thought with you, which is that the last day of the Eleusinian Mysteries was kind of a day of preparation to go home. So I was
right,
thinking we might have like maybe a
a
half an
bit of
hour
we
of it would be a
we
sharing
could
time
stay
anyways. Yeah.
behind. Yeah, we could like have an offering for people who want to stay behind like an extra half an hour on that final day or
Well, no,
something.
I'm saying I was thinking of incorporating it into the actual final
Oh,
day of
I
the
see.
class. That
Okay.
there's like a way to kind of put a cap on the experience by
So there can be
sharing.
some sharing. Everyone can talk about
Mhm.
their total
Yeah,
experience in class.
maybe
Okay.
bring some cakes or something to
Yeah,
enjoy.
yeah. Like we do at the end of they do that at the end of ayahuasca ceremonies too. There's like
Mm,
feasting and singing and kind of like
yeah.
cohesion. That sounds great. There may be a time or two that I can't attend live. Would that be a problem? No, Jamie, all of the and for everyone else who's watching, all of the courses, the weekly lectures get recorded, and when you sign up for a class, you receive you're able basically to access your student account, and in your student account you'll see there's like a box that comes up when you log in, and you click on it and it takes you to a paywalled course homepage, and that homepage you have access to forever as long as we're alive on the planet and there's an internet. um, and you can watch the videos again and again anytime you want. So if you miss a week live, you can watch it and you can do the practice on your own at home, and then you can catch up with us the following week. So that would not be a problem. And yeah, great. Hey, Reza, nice to see you. I was telling everyone about the sound meditation we did at the Envoys of Beauty the other day. It was really good. I'm gonna ask Reza if he would teach one of those, if he would teach one of those classes. Um, which class are you interested in, Reza?
Hello, Gallery. Hello, everyone. Yes, actually, I've signed up with Casey's class. I'm looking forward
Great.
um, to partake in that. And yeah, definitely, I think I would love to accept your invitation, but I need to upgrade my sound equipment as when I listen to that experiential sound meditation that we had, the sound quality I
Yeah,
was not really satisfied with. So and my space is a lot more from an energy and vibrational standpoint,
yeah,
is more
yeah.
effective when it's live and in person.
Of course, I can't even imagine how different it must be. But I want to tell you that my mom and I both had a very powerful experience, even so. So I was thinking if we have the right settings on Zoom and maybe like a few microphones, maybe we could ask Tom for some advice how
Yes.
to do that. Tom is a brilliant producer who makes music. He doesn't just DJ.
Mm.
He's been in bands and produces like countless amazing records that other DJs play at parties. So anyway, just a little plug there for the wonderful Thomas. Um, any other questions, anybody? Kathy? You're muted.
Yeah, I'm excited about all of them. But I do want to say, I remember attending the Rudolf Steiner 100 100th anniversary, and
Yes.
I remember I was so moved by that.
Mm.
And I remember Daniel, you were an unbelievable presenter on that. And I've gone back and re-listened to it. And of course, I attached myself to Rudolf Steiner, as a teacher. And, just regarding that new wave in the West. But
Mhm.
anyway, so thank you, Daniel, for that.
Yeah.
And Reza,
Mhm.
I'm not sure if I'm saying your name.
Yes.
Reza, yeah. Reza,
Right.
I remember taking the course with Gallere, that intro course. And it's so delightful to see you again. I remember you had a wonderful, I don't know, it was a very interesting, your take at the end was very moving. And I remember asking you to send me that, and I appreciate that. Um, and Laurence, I mean, how could, there's so much to say about him. I mean, I'm very involved with him. So yes, Gellerite, it is addictive.
Thank you, Kathy. Well, let me know which class you decide to
I
jump into because unfortunately,
totally,
both Kathy and Debbie were in synchronicity and now they have to switch. So just let me know which one you want. I definitely want to see you in class this quarter.
totally.
Um,
Let me jump in and just
yeah.
mention that Rilke and Rudolf Steiner, who Kathy brought up, were contemporaries. Steiner was 14 years older, but their productive years were both the first quarter of the 20th century. They actually died just a year apart, 1925 and 26. And in many ways, there's a deep affinity between Steiner and Rilke, as well as Jung, who also is working at that precisely that same period, very pivotal period in cultural and intellectual history, kind of revolving around the Great War, the First World War, and the existential crises that precipitated. I thought maybe if I could, as I think we're coming to a close, and I know Elaine said she was interested in the Rilke course too. Um, Maybe I could just read, since it's always good to put some music, linguistic or tonal in the space, a very short Rilke poem to kind of just bring that into the space. This is the second poem of his Book of Hours, which he wrote in the aftermath of his first trip to Russia with Lou Andreas Salome. It's a well-known poem, and I'm reading it in my own translation. I live my life in widening circles that reach out across all things high and low. The last one I may never complete, but will attempt it even so. I circle around God, the primordial tower, circle thousands of years long, and still don't know. Am I a falcon, a storm, or am I a great song? That's Rilke for you.
Oh, God, your translation is so much better than the other ones I've read.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it makes a huge difference, and
Oh, I
I get
know.
into the meter and the rhyme and
Yeah.
um,
Well, Daniel is a poet himself, and so I think I'm finding like now that I'm studying Shakespeare, I'm finding that the poets who write critique on Shakespeare do a much better job than the critics do, than the academic scholars do, because the poets have a sensitivity to the poetry and to the process of writing and living poetry that the academic scholars just don't. And how you engage with the material really, I think, is dependent upon the sort of the attitude of your own soul. Uh, so oh, God, Daniel, that was amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much, Daniel.
thank
Um,
you, Rainer.
I wanted to just like see if Laurence would tell us one or two things about the astrology of the moment. I'm sure the craziness of the world is on everybody's mind a little bit. Laurence, do you feel like doing that?
Sure. I just wanted to first respond to Debbie directly and just say, you know, when you learn astrology, you're learning a language. It's like learning French or something. So if you're a writer and you write characters, it's really useful to have an archetypal language that is really practical. I'm reminded that J.K. Rowling was a professional astrologer for a while
Oh, well.
and really influenced her writing. There's lots of it in there if you know where to look. So it's a richness. It'll add to your other work. It's not about becoming an astrologer. I like that attitude. It's just a way of understanding.
That's really
What I
interesting.
have,
Thank you.
you're welcome. What I've told a lot of people about um, who ask about this course, upcoming course, just of my clients, I've said, we live in times of tremendous anguish, tremendous fear, tremendous change, tremendous unpredictability, and so forth. And I really like Nietzsche's line. It's a paraphrase, but it's close enough that we can take any what if we know why. And so astrology really gives us a why. And to me, that calms, if I understand why things are happening archetypally, it doesn't frighten me because I can make sense of it. Even I may not like it, I may disagree with it, my ego may push back, I may have all kinds of reasons and rationalities why I can't stand it,
Mm.
but I can understand it, and that calms me down tremendously. So this is the use to me, the practical usefulness of knowing a language that can explain any what, literally any what. I've never come across anything in 49 years of practicing that I couldn't understand astrologically. People's behaviors, political stuff, history, anything. And so it's a useful tool. I'm very practical in my approach. And so, right now we are literally in a time of tremendous change and upheaval. I don't have to tell anybody that. We all know that. But there's ways to understand it more archetypally and more directly, which we will probably do in the transit class more than I will do here. But I will just say that nothing's happening that isn't fully and completely understood by somebody who speaks this language. So I'm not shocked. I'm just like,
Mm.
oh, this is how this is manifesting. This makes
Mm.
sense. Okay, well, there's another, expression of Pluto in Aquarius or something like that. Oh, the US Pluto return. These things are all interesting, but they're all concepts that take a little longer to explain. But they're just explanations of a sense of calm that comes with understanding the movements of the heavens and how we're part of that.
Mm.
And so it's a useful tool for me. It works better than Prozac in my mind.
Yeah. Thank you, Lawrence. Yeah, I think it's definitely an interesting way to look at the events of the world that kind of connects us to, again, something larger than just our immediate mundane lives. To me, that always like um, expanding the perspective, I always find makes me feel better somehow when I know that there are sort of larger movements at work and whatever is happening just makes me feel connected to a bigger trajectory of being. And then I don't feel so kind of uh, oppressed, by the physical manifestations of what's happening. Certainly music helps. Yes, Ada.
Just wanted to say thank you so much. I tuned in this morning because I don't know how my schedule can go, but it's such a privilege to be a student and to hear from these masters that have presented this morning and the richness of the programs. And I wanted to say thank you for what you present in Cosmos. It's very rich, and thank you for what we have heard so far this morning. Thank
Thank you, Ada. Thank you for being with us.
you.
Your
Uh,
presence is
I
really
guess
a blessing.
Yeah, I was thinking when I read about Rilke being presented, there's something from Rilke that hit me, and he's talking about things, and he's appreciating that the things around us have no urges. And at that moment, when I remembered that line, it was just such a quiet, lovely moment to think that all of this have no urges and we can just be with them. So, yeah,
Rilke is a wisdom teacher
yes,
as well
yeah,
as a poet, you know.
yeah,
Yeah.
They go together.
yeah. So thank you, all of you.
Thank you, Ada. Where are you? Where do you live?
Olympia, Washington.
Oh, wow. Amazing.
Yeah, so
Amazing.
that's why I'm all warmed up.
Yes, you are. Are you a practitioner of Zen?
Yeah, I'm abbot of Olympia Zen Center.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing.
No, it's
Gosh,
not.
I've practiced with Father. I practiced meditation with Father Robert Kennedy Roshi in my
Uh-huh,
Zoomies lineage, and
right.
from Jersey City. I mean, I Zoom with him now that we moved down to New Orleans, but for
Yeah,
many years practicing Zen
yeah,
with him.
wonderful, wonderful.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I've been
And
a
practice with
student.
Jan. Oh, go ahead,
No, you,
Jan Bremer
Casey, go ahead.
in Portland, Oregon. There's a
Yeah, Chosen Bays.
Chosen Bays, right? Practice with them. I lived in Portland for about a year and a half and
Oh,
practiced with them
okay.
while I was there. And with, yeah.
She
Sorry,
was
go
here,
ahead,
yes.
Valerie.
She was at Olympia Zen Center
Oh,
yesterday.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah,
wow. It's
How
amazing.
cool.
thank you.
I
Yeah.
live just over the ridge from the Green Gulch Zen
Ah,
Center.
of course.
And some Sunday mornings I can literally walk over the mountain and down to the meditation. It takes about
Lovely.
45
Oh,
minutes.
that's lovely. Yeah.
Yeah, quite a community here. I'm involved with the Honolulu Diamond Sangha.
Oh, of course. Right. Of
Yeah,
course.
I
I
live.
was a good friend of Aitken Roshi. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Wow. It's so interesting. I woke up this morning thinking about one of my favorite books of all time, which was written by him. It's called The Mind of Clover.
Excellent, excellent text. Yeah.
Excellent book. Yeah, yeah. I'm his student, Michael Kier.
Oh, I know Michael also.
Yes,
Lovely.
yes.
Lovely. Yeah.
So quite a little group here of Zen practitioners.
But anyway, but these scholars that we have here today are just so wonderful. So
Oh yeah.
I'll see what I can do.
Yes, I hope we see you in class, Ada. It would be so nice to have you with us.
Well, as I say, I'd love to be a student because I don't get to be quite a student when everybody else is a student around me. So
Yes, yes,
it's really nice.
you have to
I
be in
love
the
being a student.
You're in the Roshi's shoes, you know? Wonderful, wonderful. Kathy or Elaine, do you have any questions? Can you unmute? We can't hear you.
Is that me?
Elaine,
Kathy? Oh, yeah,
Elaine.
yeah, I thought so. I'm sorry.
Oh, there you go, Elaine.
Uh, yes, no, I don't have any questions. I'm just very grateful to find the Institute, and I'm very curious about the works. Yeah.
Oh, good. Oh, great. Well, listen, we definitely will do offer scholarships and discounts. So I'll email you after this and send you a code if you're interested in the Rilke class.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, very much.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Of course, no problem. Yeah, that's just something everyone should know. We always offer scholarships, and anybody who needs some support can just email me and consider it done.
Thank you.
So, if nobody has any other particular, Kathy, you have something? Go ahead. No?
Yes, yes.
Oh, yes.
No, I only wanted to say, I think it was Debbie who's considering taking Lawrence's class. Was it her? Yeah.
Mhm.
And I just want to say, Debbie, I'm a fan of Lawrence's, and I did take the initial course that he's teaching this spring. And the first book I read of his was Planets at Play.
Mm.
It's very cool. And that would be a great start to see if you wanted to take the course. Or even if you didn't want to take the course.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah.
Just
So
take it.
thank you, Kathy. Thanks for the plug. And just so you know, Debbie, Laurence does hand out a whole bunch of handouts and all kinds of like supporting materials. And in fact, all our courses, all our professors have put together incredible reading materials, all kinds of assignments that are optional. But if you do them, they enrich your experience of the course even further. Well, I want to thank our four professors so much for taking the time to be with us today. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Laurence. Thank you, Casey. Thank you, Thomas. Thanks for dropping off your daughter early so you could be with us today. I really appreciate that. I'm very grateful to all of you for showing up with us and spending your Sunday morning with us. And I really hope that I will see you all in class. Two of our classes, Rilke and Embodied Greek Liberation or Embodied Liberation through Greek Myth, start this Saturday. Thomas's class starts next Wednesday on the 25th. And Laurence's class starts on Thursday, April 2nd. So I am Gelare Coe. I'm the founder of Cosmos Institute. I am very grateful to you all for your support of the school. And if that's all, then we can all skedaddle and go have some breakfast.
You.
Thank you. Thank you. See you again soon.